Thanks so much for joining me on the podcast. How are you today?
I'm doing well.
Excited to have you. Let's dive right in. So first off, before we kind of start things off, I would love if you could tell the audience a little bit about your background and then give us an overview of what Epicore Systems is.
So I'm an engineer by training, focused on the biomedical engineering side of things. Background throughout college, grad school was in neuroscience, developing biosensors and applying them in ways that we could actually understand how certain biology works. And so the neuroscience aspect started out in grad school. Did a lot of work in auditory systems, and got a lot of exposure to developing different types of biosensors. And that's really the connection that came through with Epicore. We have developed the core technology around sensing various biochemical as well as hydration related aspects that are permeating out of your body in the form of sweat as well as other types of indicators that we can pick up. And my educational background, a lot of the focus in the biosensing space is all culminated in the work we're doing at Epicore.
Now, who are some of your partners, if you don't mind saying that? And then I guess would love to also hear some products and solutions that you currently have today.
Yeah, we've worked closely in the wellness performance space with companies like PepsiCo and Gatorade. So that was actually really what allowed Epicore to establish a market presence, building product known as a GX sweat patch in the wearable hydration space. This is a new category; it didn't exist before we got involved. If you sort of look at the history of it, there's been a lot of hydration performance related research done in the lab. It's very much decades long types of advances made there. But up until very recently, not much had been miniaturized to the point where it could be worn on the body and used in a remote setting. And that seems to be a common theme we've seen throughout healthcare. It also happens to be of relevance when you think about performance, wellness, and hydration as it relates to the athlete. And so that was really a really transformative partnership that allowed Epicore to get off the ground early days, even ahead of any investment funding. And then more recently, we expanded out to more industrial sectors, helping physically demanding jobs. If you imagine construction, labor, energy sector, there's a lot of really challenging environments where people work. And so we have partnerships, strategic, as well as more investment related collaborations with companies like Chevron. So you sort of see the expansiveness of working in sports, but then expanding out to other areas with similar underlying challenges and problems.
I know you recently raised a Series B, so would love to kind of hear, by the way, congratulations. Would love to kind of hear, high level where you see kind of the use of proceeds focusing some of those use of proceeds, and then what's next for the company after this raise.
Yeah, so we recently raised a Series B, announced it. It was led by the Steel Foundation for Hope, a group that's very interested in deploying various types of health solutions, applications ranging from global health to helping those most in need in developing countries, as well as places where there's just a lack of access. And for me, that's something that we actually do really well at Epicore. We've built solutions that really take things out of the lab setting, as I mentioned, with the sports application. And it was a really good fit for us to really partner and think about things at a much broader level. We've also seen a lot of opportunities over the past year and a half, Jared, where there's a multinational component to a lot of the partners we have. I mentioned PepsiCo; they're everywhere. Chevron, same thing. Um, uh, if you sort of look broadly, the challenges we're seeing with hydration, fatigue, stress, they're just further amplified by uh, extreme climate. And extreme climate doesn't just affect Florida, where you are, or southern states. It's everywhere. If you go to the Middle East, Asia, it's just rampant. The challenges people are facing with not just work, but just chronic conditions and things that are just further exacerbated by bad climate and poor access. And we hear about it in the U.S. We hear about it in places like Europe when various types of really abnormal weather events happen, but it's even more pronounced when you look at places like India, Africa, and uh, parts of Asia. So we're very much focused on that, and now empowered with the Series B investment to really take those steps to bring our products forward, but also at the same time even expand into new biomarker targets and things. So it's been a win-win in that respect.
What are some of the markets where your connected hydration is really starting to make headway?
So connected hydration is the continuous monitoring device that we recently commercialized. Started in North America. It's tailored for industrial workers and physically demanding occupations where we can measure your sweat loss, your sodium loss, your skin temperature, motion, all in one unified device. So in a lot of ways, it's the first solution to do that in a smart wearable. Usually, if you have a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, you get heart rate and heart rate variability and steps, but bringing that biochemical metric together with the biophysical measurements like motion and skin temp hasn't existed. And so we started out in the US, and that was very recently, 6, 7 months ago, really took those first steps towards commercial deployment. And as that started to unfold, we saw a lot of pull from places like Japan, the Middle East, where um, you sort of imagine how hot it is in the East Permian in Texas or in Florida, Louisiana, in the heat of the summer, but it's not. That's just the tip of the iceberg. There's just so much more happening in places where it could be 120 Fahrenheit for like 80 days straight. And it's not just the environment. A lot of these physically demanding occupations require workers to wear full gear. So we're talking FR gear, Tyvek suits, various protective equipment that really just makes it that much worse. And we have quantitative data to show that. So in a lot of ways, it's a problem that's gripping a lot of different uh, uh, work functions, but also geographies. And so we're very excited about uh, being able to make impact in that way, and to sort of give you sort of a list of where we're focused. Australia is high on the list. Uh, Asia, but I would say we've sort of taken very methodical steps. Like mainly Japan is where we've focused and had a lot of good partnerships sprout. And the Middle East, we just see just extreme needs there, and a lot of interest to bring health, wellness, well being types of applications to light. That's the starting point. That's where we are. We see a lot more beyond that, but you got to sort of chip away at it.
What is your outlook as far as Epicore's growth over the coming years?
So for us, it's growth takes on two forms. So it's deployment, revenues, getting products out there uh, is my main focus, the team's main focus. Our approach has been to look at this entire metabolic health sector as one that we've been able to learn from. So there's a lot of key learnings around continuous glucose monitoring, for example, where it started out with diabetes and a lot of amazing progress there as a medical device to reach people in remote at home settings. And you sort of take a look at what's happening now. There's just a ton of work around new startups, new markets forming around just providing nutrition, hydration, various types of um, biomarker insights that did not exist prior to the pandemic at the within grasp of a consumer. So we're seeing that happen now more than ever. Our plans going forward are to really start with the U.S., push out and add new biomarkers that expand on hydration and bring us to new indications like fatigue, stress, and even more downstream conditions within our pipeline, like kidney health. We're already looking at hydration. Downstream, there's a lot of other biomarkers beyond electrolytes that you could look at to pinpoint in a preventative way if someone may be exposed or having certain early stages of kidney function issues, for example. So that's our uh, roadmap, the way it's the way it's unfolding today. We see a lot of potential here if you just look at the companies that are doing well, big companies as well as startups. It's just a lot going on in this space around wellness as well as metabolic health.
If someone was interested in wanting to work here, partner with you, what's the best path to connect?
So we sort of took a different approach than the usual wearable tech company, where you may see direct to consumer or ways to really deploy with that direct line of sight to the customer. Our approach has been more enterprise focused. So I mentioned PepsiCo, Chevron, companies in the construction space like Bechtel. These are multinational, large corporations where we partner and we consider them as our first line customers. Now, the users, the people who benefit from the products, tend to be the workers, or in the case of wellness, could be athletes. But our business model has been focused around working with the enterprises. It has allowed us to more efficiently get products out into the marketplace. Not to say that we wouldn't go direct to consumer and getting products out there, but it's being a small company, it's efficient. It's also one where we have a lot of experience through the years doing that, and I think it's something we're going to continue going forward as we expand into the Series B chapter.
Well, I look forward to continuing to stay in touch with you and
Yeah, thanks, Jared. It was a pleasure.